Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Adam J. Pestridge. Welcome to another P3D video. Today we're talking all about the scenery library insertion point and how you can utilize it to really help keep your scenery library in order. Two disclaimers. One, I don't use any external scenery library organizer except for the one that comes with ORBX Central, which we will look at in a little bit later on. I'll show you how you can configure it. And secondly, this is going to be the final helpful video I produce. So if you're running into issues with scenery items in your sim where things just don't look right, you know, it's like maybe you're seeing some night tiles inserted there, or the scenery just isn't looking like it should. It most likely could be an arrangement of your scenery library that is incorrect, and that there is a certain order that the scenery library has to sit in. And if it doesn't sit in a certain order, it won't load correctly, which means you could have performance issues, or it won't display correctly, which means you're going to have errors in visuals and it's just not going to look correct. So without that out the way, the scenery library insertion point, yeah, there's a certain order to your library, and if it's not sitted in a certain order, you're going to have problems. And the thing that ORBX knows is how to correctly, you know, layer your library, but it needs to know certain things first, right? It needs to know what add-ons you've got in there against its own add-ons, you know. So if we scroll up here, this is all the ORBX stuff. It's actually got the name ORBX in it. These are all scenery items because they're white. If they're grayed out with a tick box or not, these are XML add-ons, and they're very different from scenery items. But you can see that these are all ORBX. They usually have the FTX identifier on it. If it doesn't have that, then it's most likely not from ORBX, even if you purchased it with the ORBX Central app. And one thing ORBX really needs to know is how is it going to position its stuff in relation to the other add-ons that you've put into your sim. So a lot of my add-ons here, like here, these New Zealand ones, this is freeware. I have a lot of freeware in my sim here. All this photoreal here is freeware. I do have purchased items as well, scattered throughout, but ORBX needs to know where is it going to position its stuff in relation to that stuff. And it's done through the insertion point. So first off, you need to identify your default stuff, which if you go and find Randolph AFB, that will be the top of the default items. So everything down here is default. Obviously the mesh is on top of the default mesh, but mainly down here it's default stuff. And once, you know, ORBX knows, right, so we know Randolph AFB is the top of your default library. We position our stuff on top of that. But we need to know where this ends now. Where does your third-party stuff start? And it's when you have the FTX ORBX libraries. This is basically the end point or the beginning point to the ORBX stuff. It's the borderline between ORBX's own products and all the third-party stuff. Now, if you don't have ORBX libraries in here, it's because you haven't installed it in ORBX Central. You need to install ORBX Central libraries and the object flow in order for your ORBX products to operate correctly. If you don't install object flow and ORBX libraries, they won't work correctly. Object flow is an add-on here that can only be installed as an XML add-on. And as you can see, I actually untick anything I don't use, so that it's not actually active. But anyway, getting back to the insertion point, so where does my stuff end, as it were? Well, as you can see here, Tasmania version 3 is the one that's sitting right next to the ORBX libraries. Okay, so we're going to remember that, Tasmania version 3. And as you can see, everything up here is nothing to do with ORBX. All this is third party. Now, your insertion point, right, has to be a scenery item. In other words, it has to be one of the ones in white. It can't be one of the grayed out ones. It won't work if you do select a grayed out version. It has to be one of the white ones, and it has to be the one that is actually sitting right above ORBX libraries. It's usually, you're going to have everything clumped together, and if you've noticed, I actually organize my items in geographical location. So I have all my night environment stuff on top, but then starting in Canada, I'm actually moving east around the world. So here you've got the Florida, you've got America, you know, and then although I do have Hawaii, actually that needs to move up actually, and I don't know what Vietnam War Project's doing there. That's weird. Dude, you should not be there. Yeah, we'll move him down in a bit. And then, yeah, moving east across the world, we've got the Bahamas, we got England, you know, and it basically just it moves all across like that. So there's an organization to my library ending in Tasmania version 3. So if we close the sim down, and one thing I'd like to say is never run ORBX Central when you've got your sim running, because ORBX Central accesses sim files. It actually, you know, right now as it's launching and configuring, it's actually accessing certain P3D CFG files, and if you run your library and start doing things whilst your sim is running, you're going to end up with a crash. Okay, so just leave it alone. So here's all my products here. These are all the ORBX things that I use. This is everything. Everything green is what I have in my sim. If you go to the gear icon in the top right and click on insertion point, it automatically will start organizing stuff unless you haven't selected this. And basically this bottom one, you don't need to touch this at all. They even say we don't recommend changing this option. Just leave it to ORBX airports and regions. On this one, you want to select what is the very bottom of your third-party add-on, right? So if I scroll down, obviously it's already selected Tasmania, sorry, version 3, and it's going to be right here. It's usually going to be the one sitting above Randolph AFB. So if you look for Randolph AFB, whatever's above it usually will be the first third-party. Click on that, and then it's going to update and rewrite the scenery library. And then it might take a moment, and then it'll either say, yes, it's worked with a green banner, or like that, or it'll crash out and say, we couldn't complete this problem, and it couldn't do it. If that actually happens, go to the help and click Sync Simulator, okay? If you do have Black Marble installed, once you click Sync Simulator, the very next thing you need to do is open up your Black Marble control panel, and you probably already know this, and make sure that you click or tick the box that says Refresh Terrain CFG Encoding. And once you've done that, everything will be fine. And that's it really. That once you organize your library correctly, you won't have any issues in terms of scenery items in your sim. Things will load correctly, you know. If your scenery library is not ordered correctly, then it's going to be, you know, problematic in your sim. Crashes maybe, performance drops, scenery just not looking correct, just loads of problems. Get it correctly done. And to be honest, ORBX Central offer a free, you know, add-on manager, as it were. I use that exclusively, and I never needed to use anything else. Anyway, this is going to be the final helpful tutorial video that I do. I get so much negativity for doing these videos. The amount of comments that I have to remove, the amount of people that I have to block on Facebook, the amount of personal messages that get sent to me, the negativity I get, it just far outweighs my mental being right now, which isn't very good, really, because of those around me. And it's like I appreciate everybody who thanks me, and everybody who is appreciative of these videos, and I'm sorry, like, you guys are losing out really, but I'm still in my Discord, and I still will help anybody who, you know, needs that, or anybody who has an issue. They can still come to my Discord and I will still help them. But these videos, which were designed to help people on a mass scale, I get so much negativity. I don't know if it's because I give this information away for free where others do not, and so it's those that attack me. I don't know, but it's just, I prefer a community that is helpful to one another rather than degrading to one another. It's like everybody's got to go, I'm Mr. Big Bollocks and I'm going to lay it down here. And it's like, that's not me. I'm just trying to help people who have issues with their sim. That is it. But the amount of bad press or negativity I get, it's people attacking me right, left and center. And I'm sorry, don't want my help, fine, I won't give it. It's only going to appear in my Discord now from now on. So on this YouTube channel, it's going to be flights and fun only moving forward, although I will still put out my settings every now and again. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Again, I do appreciate all the support. Thank you for any likes or subscribes to the channel. It really does help me to motivate forward, but as I said before, this is the final helpful tutorial video. I just get too much negativity. So anyway, take care, guys. Also, I'm going to link into this video my settings as well that I did, and you guys can check over for this year what my settings are looking like. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.